What's going on, my nail friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Rosie, and this is Mary Rosie Dips. In today's video, we are using some of the pudding gels from the most recent mystery box from West Coast Dips. She did release two different boxes. One was a gel, which ended up being pudding gels, which I am obsessed with. And the other one was dip powder mystery box. So of course it's a holiday color mystery box because this is the Christmas one. So typically the boxes are in tune with whichever holiday they're released with. She only does them 3 or 4 times a year, and they're always perfect and always sell out. So this box here has these 3 colors that I'm using, plus I believe it was 2 other greens. I wanted to use these reds and this white glitter specifically, but it does come with 5. And then the brush here that I held up, it's got this flatter end for applying it, and then there's a more finer pointy end on the other side of it, so that you can do any kind of design if you wish. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I've been doing nails on myself for about 4 years now. I think I've had my Instagram/YouTube channel, gosh, maybe only a couple of years, but I am self-taught. I am not a nail tech. Never been to any of the classes. I'm actually an ICU nurse. All the things that I show on here on my YouTube channel are just things that I've learned and practiced on my own, and I've learned from other nail artists along the way. So the way that I apply this is just the way that works for me. It might not be perfect, but this is just the way that I can get it to work for, like I said, for me. So I applied a nice thin layer, and I'm working with my non-dominant hand on my dominant hand, so I always seem like I look a little bit more of a klutz because I'm not left-handed. So I just applied a thin, even layer. I cured it for 30 seconds. Then I came back and I'm doing the second layer of it. I wasn't sure exactly what design I was going for, but for sure it was the thumb, and then I do end up doing it on the index finger. So this is what it looks like once it is fully cured. And this was where I kind of was like, what do I do? Should I do the middle nail or should I do the index? And I ended up just going with the index finger. So same exact thing. I'll do one layer, nice and thin, and then we'll cure it and do the second layer. I do have to say that this specific color from the pudding box from the gel box, I should say, this color is very grainy because it's got small size glitters. I'd say they're definitely not medium, they're not fine. It made it to where it was super grainy to put it on, so you definitely need 2 layers for full coverage, and you've got to make sure that you have something with thicker consistency to encapsulate it once you're done. And I will be encapsulating these nails, all of them, with a rubber base, the clear one, which is also available from West Coast Tips. I've been using it more frequently. I like that thicker viscosity than regular gel base, but not as viscous as builder gel. So it's kind of halfway in between, and I like that I can just put one layer of it over a glitter sort of like this one right here, and not have an issue with feeling that graininess or texture. So once I do the 2 layers of it, I'm going to flash cure it and move on. Or I should say I'm going to fully cure it and move on. And I believe I decided to do the solid red, which is this one right here. And I cleaned my brush up, and all I'm doing is what I figured out is with these pudding gels, and everybody applies them differently. I know some gals will actually put a little bit of gel base on their brush to help it glide easier. I haven't had to do that yet. I don't know if it maybe depends on what kind of brush you're using. But I haven't had to, and I've done pudding gel manis a couple of times. And with the West Coast Dips ones, I have not had to do gel base to get it to glide any more smooth or anything like that. So thin single layer, and then I will be curing that for 30 seconds off camera, and then I'll come back and do a second layer of it. And then it'll be the same thing with the third color, which is more of a shimmery, fine glitter type. So I will just let you watch. And as you can see on this red one, it's much more creamy with less of that graininess that you can see. Well, I don't know if you can see that I showed up, but the white one was definitely more grainy because the glitters were bigger maybe, but they were still fine glitters. And once you encapsulate it, it doesn't matter that it was grainy because it's encapsulated in the rubber base, and you cannot tell that it was like that at all. So it's nice and smooth once you lightly buff it and file it. So I'm just evenly applying this layer, and then once I'm done with it, I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds, and then we'll do the same thing with the pinky and apply 2 layers of this color to both of those nails. And once everything has 2 layers and is fully cured, I'm applying rubber base. This one is clear from West Coast Dips. And like I mentioned earlier, rubber base is just a thicker consistency gel base that you can use to encapsulate. I've been using it much more frequently now since I've gotten it because it does a really great job of going right into all of those little areas, right around those tiny little glitters in this gel. So once I have a nice even coat of it, then I will make sure it evens out. It actually settles pretty nicely, just like builder gel. But just before you cure it, make sure that it is nice and evened out, and then do the rest of the nails. Once cured, I swipe with isopropyl alcohol because that rubber base has a tacky layer to it, and I am going to be adding some stamping. So I decided to do some snowflakes on this mani, and of course I somehow forgot to press record. So this is the final mani. That is what it looks like with all of the West Coast products. And here we are using this Maniology stamping plate and these particular stamping polishes on that plate. And then Bam White is a favorite of mine. It's a nice white bright polish, and this is what the mani looks like encapsulated in gel top coat once it is done. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Send me any comments or messages, and make sure you're following me here on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. I'll see you guys later. Bye.